I think if you're an association, of over, say, 100 or 200 members, I can't imagine you would want to deal with the renewals and that sort of thing manually. And I think it's a no-brainer. It's the idea of doing that stuff and not having it automated. I don't even want to think about it. I'm Simon Kennedy. I'm a voice actor and I'm the president of the Australian Association of Voice Actors, what we call ourselves AVA. The Australian Association of Voice Actors, AVA, we set up at the beginning of 2024, and the idea was to create some cohesion and give some advocacy for the voice acting community. So when we started, everything was basically happening on Google Docs, Google Drive. Everything we did was in this sort of shared drive situation. So we would have a membership application form, which was a Google form. And so all of that information was then going into Google Sheets. And we got to a point where we were sending emails out to members. Our membership grew, into hundreds very quickly. And to send emails out, it was a lot of cutting and pasting, and we couldn't send it to everyone at once because our email system wouldn't allow that many emails at a time. It became a bit of a manual nightmare, and then it occurred to us that when everyone's memberships are up in 1 year and various times, we're going to have to manually go through and try and renew memberships. And the idea of that was not making me happy. So that's when we went, okay, we're going to need a system here. So I did a lot of research. The team, the community that we have, our committee did a lot of research. We were looking at various CRMs from around the world. Some came close to doing what we needed. Some did some things, but not other things. And some were just so expensive. And I'm talking like 20 grand a year expensive. And we're like, we aren't that big. we don't have those funds. So we really were looking around, and then Member Jungle was in that list and provided more of what we needed in one place than anything else. The things we were looking for were automatic renewals for memberships, being able to stay in contact with the members and send emails out, providing member-only portals within our website so that we could have a walled-off section just for members. So those sort of things we were looking at, and when we started researching, Member Jungle seemed to be the only one that would do all of those things and do them all at a price that was acceptable for our membership. We could have used someone else, but every single membership fee would have paid for managing the membership. So it was absolutely out of the question. It was out of the question. So Member Jungle was just one of the many CRMs, and because it specialises in members, it just seemed to fit. Signing up was easy. It was very simple, and I have found that when I've had a bit of a question, something a bit technical, and I've thrown it at the team, they've been pretty helpful in getting back. And I think for us, having the support in Australia is actually great, because time zones, we deal with time zones a lot in our business, and no one likes it. You have to wait a day to hear back, or something, depending on what's going on. So it's good. It's good for us knowing that we actually have something that's local. And I, quite frankly, like supporting an Australian product. We are the Australian Association of Voice Actors after all. So all of our member data was sitting in Google Sheets because our membership form had been a Google form previously. So that wasn't too tricky. There was a little bit of, I made a couple of mistakes, but they weren't mistakes I couldn't walk back. So I could go through and import things again. So that system was pretty well explained, and the Member Jungle guys were definitely helpful along the way as well. But I was actually surprised at how easy that was. And then when I saw all of the members in the system, with their member numbers, and I was like, oh, it worked. Yeah, so the events is something that we use quite a lot because we have generated at least one webinar every month that we like people to register for. So doing that, we're becoming better at that. I should say I've become better at it because I haven't shared with you as much yet. But I've found that to be great, and that the system where you set up an event, people register the event, and you can set up automatic emails so that maybe a week before or a day before they get a reminder. The email might, you could send out the Zoom link or the address for whatever event you're doing in the automatic emails and that sort of stuff. So that's been really great. And ticketing as well. We actually realised that we offer free events and webinars for our members because that's part of their membership. But there are people who aren't members who maybe take interest in some of the webinars we do. So we have a ticket price for non-members. And there have been a few occasions where people have taken that up. So the ticketing system has been great. It's actually added a little bit of extra revenue as well. Yeah, I'd recommend Member Jungle because the price point is good, especially for small to medium associations and so forth. I think there's other products out there, but they are just not affordable. And I think I think one thing an association or a club doesn't want to do is spend most of their membership revenue on managing the membership. That just seems ridiculous. So for us, that was a massive thing, the price point, as well as the functionality. So I guess the price point says to me that Member Jungle understands who the people are that are using it.